1942, Kirch, Kharkov, Sebastopol, Voronezh. The next goal of the German offensive, Stalingrad. July the 17th, several patrol units engaged the enemy for the first time on the city's outskirts, 8 kilometers to the southeast of Morozovskaya. August the 22nd, the German 6th Army forges the River Don and gains a foothold on the bank, 45 kilometers wide. August the 23rd, the Luftwaffe's 4th Air Fleet bombers conduct a ferocious raid that wreaks havoc on Stalingrad. Despite the efforts of the Soviet Air Force and Soviet anti-aircraft artillery, the whole city turns into ruins within hours, burying tens of thousands of civilians under the debris and rubble. The Germans launch 4 ruthless assaults on Stalingrad during the period from the 14th to the 20th of September. It was an exhausting and terrifying struggle, both on land and in the air. The situation becomes critical for the defenders, but they aren't going to give up the city. Not a step back. There is no land behind the Volga. November the 19th. After intensive artillery barrages, army groups in the southwest and Don fronts start their counter-offensive. November the 20th. Soviet forces of the new Stalingrad United Front strike at the south of the city and recapture the crossing near Kalach. Hitler orders his army to hold Stalingrad and wait for reinforcements. November the 23rd. Soviet troops surround the enemy in the area between the Volga and Don rivers. As future events will show, a catastrophe for the Germans is inevitable. The ring closes. Hitler decides to support the surrounded grouping by air. In November 1942, the aerial bridge was established. As a response, the Red Army attempts to blockade enemy airfields and intercept any transport aircraft. Supplies become shorter, reserves shrink fatally. The Luftwaffe is unable to perform assigned tasks. By the end of the aerial bridge, the Germans lose 269 Junkers 52 and 169 Henkel 111s. In the morning on December the 12th, the Germans start the operation aimed to cut through the blockade holding down the 6th Army. By December the 20th, the troops were only 48 kilometers away from Stalingrad, but they could not break through and reach the German foothold. Operation Small Saturn begins on December the 16th. On December the 24th, a Soviet armor regiment in a bold and swift raid rolls onto the airfield supporting the 6th Army of Germans. The series of attempts to relieve the blockade ends with a total failure on December the 25th. In early January 1943, Friedrich Paulus's starving army rejects all proposals implying surrender. Soviet troops start their decisive offense on January the 10th. The blockade is torn apart. The 6th Army is forced to retreat to Stalingrad's ruins. January the 25th, Soviet soldiers enter Stalingrad from 2 sides. From January the 31st till February the 2nd, 1943, the German 6th Army is capitulating, denoting the end of the 6-month-long bloody battle on the Volga. February the 2nd, 1943. The battle is over. A strange, long-forgotten silence falls on the city. More than 1 million people disappeared in the hellish fire of war, or died in captivity as prisoners of war. Remember them. Those who stood their ground, and those who stormed Stalingrad on and on. Those who fought for the home sky, and those rained bombs on residential areas. Those who overcame fear and kept on fighting, and those who were dying, besieged in icy trenches. Remember them.